Hello all, this is the Secure and Govern team planning meeting for 16.1. Let us start by looking at any sus impacting issues. Composition analysis has an S1, and that's it. Come on. I think this is currently being planned. Does anyone know more about this?
I can check with the team. We just had our team meeting, but this issue didn't come up in the call. I know we're obviously talking about what will and won't make it in 16.0, so let me check on this one.
Okay, so last I was pinged 3 weeks ago and I didn't get the ping, but before I went on vacation, I tried to follow up and ask this question, basically.
It's a good question. We haven't been talking about it, like I said, so I can follow up with Fabian. He also wasn't in the call today. I think he's on PTO actually, so we might need I'll check with Olivier and hopefully he knows more about it at this point.
Okay. Okay, that works. Let's see if there's any S2s. Nothing. Awesome. There was a couple weeks ago, so those must have gotten cleared out. Cool. Then let us move on to going through the issue. Oop. I don't understand why it's showing up fine on my other screen. Okay. So back on Michael, if you're not here yet or when you're watching this video, I know Michael, you're here. Fill in your capacity.
I'm here.
My capacity will be 0, but yes, I will add that if you want.
There you go.
I'm filling it out now.
Fair enough. Thank you. Michael, you might as well add that you're going to be starting your lead too.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Days. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. So compliance. Well, I guess we'll look at here. Got these 2 issues. We have a research and a design. God, my brain is broken. Derek or Grant, which one of you are compliance?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with these 2?
Yep. Yeah. The adherence report we've been going back and forth on. We've got 2 separate areas that one of them we're calling the design done, and we're going to move that over into implementation. The other part where you actually add projects to the adherence report, that one needs to go through research, user research, I guess, solution validation type stuff to make sure that we're doing it the way that users will want to do it. And so, yeah, I don't think we need anything on that one. I think Camila's got it pretty well under control.
Okay. Cool.
And then the GCP fields, that one is from a product OKR that we're deepening the integration with GCP. So we need to add some specific stuff around GCP logging. And so she'll be starting to work on that.
Okay. This isn't a specific theme then, this is sort of a one-off
It is, yes.
or what?
And it was not on my roadmap and came in very ad hoc. So it's an exception that I'm not, it's necessary, but the way that it came in, I'm not super happy about.
Okay, that's interesting. We don't have to talk about that while it's being recorded. All right, cool. And this will keep her busy for all of 16.1?
I'm not sure. I have not talked to her about that. There's definitely enough out there. There's multiple other things that we've talked about. We're going to be redesigning where the compliance frameworks configuration lives and get that to be more consistent. So you're not jumping around to 3 different places in the product to figure out how to add compliance frameworks to a project. So there's a few things that we have that she could work on, but I don't know whether that one is big enough to keep her busy the entire milestone.
Anything? Why do I have security policies next? Technically, that should be dormant. But since it's here, I'll ask it. Grant, do you need any help?
Yeah,
with
I mean, I kind of
security
noted there
policies?
to the right, yeah, that we're not expecting UX support. I think we've got it in the notes there that we're sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
But
Okay,
if there's capacity, I can double check that.
All right. Well, we want to be careful with that, of course. Same as before because it would be Camellia, so we don't want to necessarily have her jumping back and forth if we can avoid it. Okay. Cool. We'll keep an eye on it. It's more of a pressing need. If you have something extremely that needs to really get done, some customer is screaming and we need to take care of it, kind of thing. You figure it out. Static analysis. So Michael,
Yeah,
why don't
so
you just
from
talk
design
about how
side.
prepared everyone's going to be while you're out?
Yeah, hopefully static analysis should be set up where they don't need much design support while I'm out. Largely they'll be working on inline findings around the UX theme and then working on some configuration changes, some changes to the configuration page itself. All that stuff should be outlined in my coverage issue too, which I can add here if it would be helpful. Stuff would be a little updating to my coverage issue for assignments, but all the relevant links and issues should be here.
Okay. Okay, threat insights.
Yeah, so more of a continuation of the current milestone. I'll still be working on the moderated research for advanced filters, saved views, grouping, and I'm hoping to include some AI stuff in there. It's a lot, so need to talk to Michael Fang Fangman. No. What?
Lee? Michael
Not
Lee?
Michael Fangman, Michael Oliver, rather,
Oh,
about
how
that.
many Michaels?
So many Michaels. And then, yeah, probably do some like beta tests with some internal security engineers just to see how the flow goes. And but I definitely want to ask about AI stuff. I'm just not sure if it has to be an entirely separate study. And then continuing ongoing work with the explain this vulnerability. We're looking at a beta release with some added features and just keeping up with all of the other things going on with the other teams working on AI stuff.
Are these weights are accurate in terms of how much time you think you'll be spending on them for 16.1? Or is it an overall weight?
It's hard to say with explain this vulnerability because just things evolve every day. But I mean, there's not a lot of design with it. It's just keeping up with conversations and ongoing efforts, like what's the component that we're all going to be using for feedback. And then there's been some ongoing discussions with like Pedro and Michael Lee regarding, should the content maybe be on the page so that we can preserve the drawer area for chat? Do we want to incorporate chat? I need to follow up with the team about that. I think Alana, last time we chatted, it was something that we wanted to like inquire about, like ask security engineers about, maybe even like in the feedback rather than just launching chat. But I'm not sure if our vulnerability researchers are trying out chat or plan on trying it out. But if we do want to keep the AI results in a drawer, then we do need to address that code block and the horizontal scroll. Or do we want to make the drawer draggable or pop out the code in a popover? If we want to keep it in the drawer, there's still those things to work out. So it's just so many unknowns right now.
It's also possible that I'm still getting caught up, but I think that there's going to be some movement on who owns the chat-based global experience. And I think once that becomes more of a componentized sort of thing, they're going to have to figure out how to deal with code because it doesn't fit there. And it's likely that there's going to be multiple places that need to have code represented in the discussion. So you might just end up working with them. Right now, Michael Lee is dealing with that, but it could transition to maybe Katie. But I haven't had a chance to have that depth of a discussion about the plan yet.
Okay.
But it is happening. So I think that whatever you end up doing, it shouldn't necessarily be you doing it. It should be you informing them what your needs are so they can make sure those requirements are handled within the sort of componentized version of the chat.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it also means I think temporarily you might need to come up with a solution so you can move forward.
Okay. Yep. And then we have a meeting, Alana, Sarah, and I later today to chat about continuous vulnerability scanning that will impact the vulnerability report. When the feature is complete, it says we will be introducing new vulnerabilities that aren't found as the result of a pipeline job. No previous UX research or design has been done on this topic, but engineering work is currently in progress. So I'm expecting something potentially to come out of that. I just don't know what yet. So I will update this issue when I know more. That's later today.
Okay.
And then the last one was the group level dependency list. I posted some designs late last week and just waiting on feedback. Alana, I don't know if are we meeting this week?
Yeah, we should be.
Tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll
yeah.
chat more about that tomorrow.
I should have a chance to review the stuff that you did for explain this vulnerability. And then
Perfect.
also the dependency list before we meet tomorrow. So
Awesome. Yeah,
we
I
can
know.
chat.
I pinged you a lot last week. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's good to catch up on everything now that I'm back.
Yeah, and
That's
then
this one, and you're anticipating that this will basically be done by 16.0, but possibly not. Depends on the feedback you get. Is that what you're getting at?
right, exactly. I guess my question right now that maybe threw a wrench in the plan was I'm just not sure if we need the dependency list or if we can just group by dependency component on the vulnerability report. But we need to have a conversation about that because maybe
And like get rid of the dependency list entirely.
yeah, because I mean, Justin, if you want to click on one of those designs right there, I was just looking at, how can we improve the dependency list as it currently stands at the project level. And I just copy and paste it. So here, there's a lot of new features. There's a lot of there's filtering, there's the license column that we're proposing here. There are a lot of improvements. And then I wasn't really sure what to do with the vulnerabilities. So I just basically copy and pasted the current pattern that we're using on the project level dependency list. But it just it doesn't feel, it's not ideal just to have, especially at the group level, there could be so many vulnerabilities here. And it's do we incorporate vulnerability management onto this page? I want to better understand the workflows here. I just feel like there is an opportunity here to potentially move all of this to the vulnerability report. And then once we have grouping, we can group by dependency component. I'm just not 100% sure that we need a separate page for this if vulnerability management is the goal, especially once we have grouping. So we can chat about that later, but
yeah, I think it sounds like you all need to have a discussion, because if it turns out the answer is you're right, this sounds like we need to think about this more, then it will bleed into 16.1.
Wouldn't the vulnerability report only include vulnerabilities or suspected vulnerabilities, whereas the dependency list includes literally everything, whether or not there's a vulnerability?
right.
Because there's definitely a need for just having every dependency, whether or not there's a vulnerability.
Okay. Well,
I also think Tiago had proposed a while ago that instead of how in the vulnerability report we also link to the vulnerability record, having a dependency record that you can click on and drill in and better understand why, what is going on with that specific dependency. So we'll talk more tomorrow and I'll take a chance to review it. But yeah, Sarah, good point. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, the dependency list is pretty new to Threat Insights, and I haven't had a chance to do any research on it. So I'm going off of a lot of assumptions. I've been pinging the GitLab AppSec team to try to understand the workflows here. I guess if we do need to preserve it, which it sounds like we do, then I'll just have to think through what vulnerability management looks like from this.
I think the first thing you said was you need to understand the workflow, and I think that makes sense. It sounds like the list needs to exist regardless, but you need to understand what they need to do with it. So you can
because maybe we need just more flexibility on this page, grouping bulk actions, I'm not exactly sure when they are interacting with vulnerabilities, how exactly would be the most efficient way of doing that, especially at the group level where, you know, there could be 100 projects in here and thus thousands and thousands of vulnerabilities. So,
Yeah.
sounds like
So-
I'm maybe carrying this over. I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't know if I can solve this in the next 10 or whatever days. So,
that does sound accurate. Okay.
yeah.
Michael Oliver's not on this call. But these research items have been added.
Yeah, so I added those. And it may not be appropriate to add it here because I know we're talking about 16.1, unless these do just like end up slipping into 16.1. But I just wanted to raise, like, these are the solution validation issues that we've been working on. And I'm kind of blocked right now, so we kind of reorganized how we're approaching each of these two and move some questions across from one to the other. And then as I've been testing in the prototype in Figma, I've realized that kind of now requires some more changes in Figma. And I was able to get access temporarily just to make some quick tweaks. Previously, I no longer have that. I feel like I can make the changes that I need to make if I did have access. Alternatively, I'll need some assistance probably from Camellia just to get it kind of polished so that we can actually get the study started. But we're pretty close. But yeah, kind of blocked right now.
Okay. Do you think that if you got the help within the next week or so, you'd be unblocked to get it done
Yeah, I
in
mean,
16 versus 16.1?
yeah, that would be ideal. And I feel like that the effort required would be very, very minimal. I've tried to keep it as like sharp and concise, what my asks are. And I added them in one of those issues. I just lumped all the changes together and had pinged Camellia on those. I just wanted to make sure that there's visibility into that here.
I appreciate that. Looks like community's only out today, so
Yeah.
yeah. If it's as small as you say, it sounds like it'd be a pretty quick update.
Yeah, I think it would be very minor for sure.
Okay, cool. If she can't do it, then let me know and I'll jump in. If you know exactly what it is, then I could easily do it as well.
Cool. Yeah. It's in that issue, and I can just CC you so you can see what's there, and
Okay.
let me know. And again, if there's some temporary access option when, while I don't have the same, since we're sleeping from UX standpoint, that could be a nice to have.
Yeah. How did you get access before? Was it just your like a 30-day trial, or did we actually have like a temporary license or something we can give you? Does anyone else know about this?
I
from
kind of
Figma
got like
perspective?
I think I got like a temporary seat, but knowing that I was going to lose it, I just asked for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I guess we'd have to get you a license. I have no idea how that works. I know how it works
Yeah,
permanently.
if there's
but I
like
know
a
how temporary
floating,
things work.
if there's like a floating seat, that could be interesting. But yeah, it immediately though, if we can just get these initial asks, we can start there. But
Yeah.
just
Okay.
maybe something to think about.
Cool. All right then. That's all the groups that have work. Is there anybody that is worried that they have something that's not going to get done that they need assistance with?
I will just need assistance with reviewing the moderated research plan, which I've started on, but yeah, Justin kind of like the first one with unmoderated. I mean, I imagine a lot of those tasks, the way that they were worded, can be carried over to the moderated study. But then like trying to incorporate AI into it, like I'll need to collaborate with you and Michael, Oliver, and Alana on that. But
From the AI perspective, we might also want to pull in Anna. She might have some ideas on how to phrase things.
Who?
Research on a Lash.
Oh, on it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I saw that she
Alright.
posted like guidance on doing research on AI. So I plan on referencing that.
Okay, well, ping
mean,
ping us all, and we'll help out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, cool. Then thank you all. Appreciate your help with this. I will post
Thank
the
you.
video for anyone that missed it, and you know, ping us in the issues or whatever if you need any help that we didn't get to talk about here.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
See ya.